The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newy Scruggs.
Monday. Draft week is here. Let's ride on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Tostitos. Heckma Harrison is here. Danny McCray is here. Mr. Perfect Attendance is not here. I'm Newy Scruggs. Mr. Perfect Attendance would be Barry Church.
What does perfect attendance really mean? Because I remember, people make fun of me for not being here. At least I was working. I know what he had.
Right.
I seen him out there in Mexico, laying down, chilling.
Mexico.
Now, it was the white
Love
birthday.
Mexico.
It was his white birthday, so I understand, you got stuff to do. He could have came back Sunday so he could be perfect attendance, but, Church, we miss you, bro. We see you next week.
We got Zoom capabilities.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think anybody wanted to Zoom with a brother that is at an all-inclusive resort right now. He might have started early. So I don't think we want to talk to BC. BC, do your thing.
Yeah, stay out there, man. Your attendance is no longer perfect, though. You can't call yourself that.
Okay.
I know the perfect attendance man is probably listening with an umbrella drink in his hand right now.
He's not listening.
He's not listening. Okay. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. All right.
He's not. You wouldn't be listening. You wouldn't be listening. I would be. No. You in Mexico.
It's not gonna happen. Here you go.
So when you was in Spain, you wouldn't listen.
We were off the air. We didn't do any shows.
Unbelievable.
When you was gone? Yeah.
Sure?
We was on there. We was talking about you being on your vacation for school.
It was work, school.
Yeah.
Work.
You worked out, right?
Yes, it was. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
To work. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
it was.
Shout out to you, man. Everybody wish they could work like that.
Lisbon, I highly recommend it, my friends. Lisbon. Madrid, not so much. Lisbon, yes. The 26th pick in the draft right now, the first round, is being held by the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, by the way, we are coming to you from the Star headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys, and they do have a press conference at high noon today. So Gerald Wayne Jones is going to be there. Stephen Jones will be there. Will McClay will be there, and head coach Mike McCarthy. So they are going to give us their take on the draft. And for me, I want to get your guys, what question would you want to ask? To me, I'd like to ask Mike McCarthy, what types of changes would you like to see draft-wise as you are now the play caller here for your offense?
I was about to say, make sure when you introduce Mike McCarthy, you say Mike McCarthy, head coach and play caller. All right, we want to make sure that everybody understands that Mike McCarthy is now the play caller and not Kellen Moore. All right, Mike McCarthy, head coach and play caller. All right.
No, you know what? I want to know what Mike is looking for now that he is the play caller. The whole gripe, I think, in the offseason has been about the offense, the number one offense at certain points of the season. Danny McCray, we know that we need stuff. Mm-hmm. And will it be offensive line? Will it be skill position? I don't know. There's so many mysteries around this draft. And to me, it's because it's not that deep a draft. I don't see the talent there for us. At 26, a lot of wonky things are going to happen on Thursday. And if some guys fall because some teams at the top 10, top 5 are desperate, then I think it could make for an interesting night. But if it goes according to the board, I don't know what's going to be there for us at 26.
Yeah, I would like to ask Mike McCarthy, the head coach and play caller, about the offensive line. And what he thinks about it, especially since he's in the past, or as soon as Kellen Moore was out of here, what I heard from Mike McCarthy was, we need to run the ball. Our defense is strong, and we need to give them rest, and we need to be able to run the ball more. Does that mean that you are going to focus more on your offensive line? Because I always harken back to 2014, and then I'll go back to 2016 when you have this offensive line in this running game, and at that point, the offensive line was feared. When you have an offensive line like that, it helps you be able to then do what Mike McCarthy wants to do, right? Church played on the 2014 team, and I promise you, they were on the sideline rested. When I was playing for the Bears, them dudes was on the sideline the whole time, chilling. They came in, got a 3 and out, and then they went set back on the bench for another 8 minutes, right? And that was one of the best teams of the last 10 years for the Dallas Cowboys. So, is that something that we're focusing on this draft?
Okay.
As a former player, is there any intrigue for you in the way that the league has changed away from that mantra of we're gonna run the ball? It's not there anymore. Everybody wants to play 7-on-7 style right now. And let's think about it. Even the running back position, there's only Bijan Robinson in the first round. Nobody else is talking. You're not talking about Gibbs from Alabama. You're not talking about any other running back. We're only talking about receivers.
I think it's more of how the running game has changed from power, trap, counter, now to zone read, speed sweeps, right? Yeah. So when you're running power and trap, right, DeMarco Murray and Ezekiel Elliott and Derrick Henry, those guys, they don't have to catch out of the backfield as much. What they have to do is be able to read those blocks when the guard pulls around. Now you got to be able to have read option. You need a scat back, a guy who can get through the hole really quickly, like a Tony Pollard, like a Miles Sanders, those type of players. And then you also have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. So I think it's just changed a lot. And it's actually exciting to see. Now, not as exciting for guys who are accustomed to hitting the hole in the power or being able to run a trap and read those blocks and get up the middle like a Adrian Peterson.
Right.
Now it's more Christian McCaffrey and Miles Sanders and those type of guys. So I think it's more fun for the game, but it's a big change from what I grew up playing and watching.
Another question I'd like to ask Mike, speaking of the run game, Skippy Pete was very honest when he said Pollard and Zeke are a tandem. And Mike has talked about how, you don't really have a one-horse running back anymore in the league. It's a job for two guys. Tony Pollard coming off an injury. How do you improve the running back room? Is it through the draft? Do they look to bring someone in after the draft? What else do they do? I just feel like the running back room is not complete right now.
So Rojo's not enough?
The contract he signed, basically, you cut him during camp. If he doesn't make, he's got to make the team. So to me, when you sign somebody to a contract like that, you've been in the game long enough to know.
Yeah. I know. I just, like when you pick up players like a Ronald Jones, or you look at players' old film, right? It's hard for you not to be like, oh, man, I remember when he had a 99-yard run, or when him and Leonard Fournette were competing for the starting job out there in Tampa and Leonard Fournette got hurt, and you were like, oh, Ronald Jones has arrived. And then you remember that he also lost that job again, and then it became playoff Lenny, right? But you hope when you pick a guy up like that you can get the other guy, that guy who can be the 1-2 punch with Tony Pollard, but you just don't know. So to your point, I think you got to get somebody in the draft. Not as early as first round. I don't think you have to do that, but I think you have to get somebody who can come in and spell Tony Pollard whenever he gets a little fatigued, or just to make sure the wear and tear is not too much for him to go throughout the full season.
No, and Ronald Jones to me could be that bridge player. He could be a guy that can fill in if you don't have a pick, a running back in. You don't get a running back, all right? But I still believe in a guy like Malik Davis. I think we've given him plenty of opportunity, and I see the promise in him as well. The thing is when you go back to Mike McCarthy and his offense, is it going to be along the lines of what you're talking about, those read versus power? You have an offense that can do power. The only team that I can think of that would you say San Francisco would be a power run team, or would they?
Yes.
Okay. Philadelphia. Power run team. Or more of a zone, or they're the read
I was
zone.
Zone read, and
okay.
I think my answer to yours would say if Dak Prescott is going to run the ball and provide that option.
Let's say no. Let's say no right now.
Well, I don't know, but maybe you're going to have to go along the lines of a Shanahan type of style of running game. Has to be really creative, but yeah, you're going to run in between the tackles often enough to where you're going to need two guys.
Yeah, I like Ronald Jones. I like the addition of Ronald Jones, but to me, I have that stuck in my head from Mickey Spagnola, bridge players. And I just kind of felt as though he may have been that, but I'm with you, Nui, on that when he has to make this team. So he's really going to be an uphill battle for him, especially if the Cowboys can take him away with Bijan Robinson in this draft.
I am not allowing myself to believe that there will be any Bijan here.
Yeah, I don't believe that one either.
I'm just not.
We got lucky with CD.
Somebody Chris Arnold filled in, but I did a guest spot on his show, 105.3 The Fan yesterday, and they brought up Todd McShay, said the Cowboys, could see them trading up to 17 for Bijan Robinson. My first thought, I said, look, I like Todd McShay. I remember Todd before he got to ESPN was trying to do to come up. But Todd is doing what you people do during this time, who talk. We're going to talk about a rumor.
Right.
What are you giving up to get to 17?
Right.
Who do you have to get in front of? What are you willing to also say, we don't need this second or third round pick? And we're talking about a team here that has to dole out some pretty significant contracts coming up here soon. CeeDee Lamb has to get paid. Trayvon Diggs has to get paid because while CeeDee was on a 5-year contract, Diggs was on a 4-year contract. Micah Parsons has to get paid. Dak Prescott has to be renegotiated. So if you're talking about moving up to 17 for Bijan, what are you going to give up? Second, third round pick that you say, we don't have access to that particular player because we're going to move up to get Bijan Robinson. Or maybe you're saying we'll have Bijan on a very team-friendly contract and we don't have to have Tony Pollard after next year. That puts $10 million someplace else. I mean, I just don't see the run. I don't see them doing that with the running back. And let me just bring up this last point. We're about to see Kansas City's last rosters on the 2 Super Bowl teams they've won for Patrick Mahomes at running back. The Super Bowl 54 team, Darwin Thompson, LaShawn McCoy, who sat on the bench, and he was mad because they played that
Still
game.
mad.
Right, they playing that game. He was inactive. And Damian Williams. 17 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown in that win over San Francisco. That 129 total yards rushing. Then last year, the Super Bowl 57 back in February, it was Jerick McKinnon, Ronald Jones of the Cowboys. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a running back on the team, but he was inactive. And then it was Isaiah Pacheco, 7th rounder. Andy Reid's always run the football wherever he's gone. But if this is what he's winning with here, you don't have to go get Bijan Robinson the way some people are saying, in my opinion. If you can block, okay, you can block, and you get good quarterback play, you don't have to have O.J. Simpson or Jim Brown to go win the championship, or Emmitt Smith.
Hold on.
Hand raise. Let's go.
Go ahead.
Because I want to be fair
Okay.
in this one and say Andy Reid has Patrick Mahomes,
Thank you,
Travis Kelce,
Yes.
and Eric Bieniemy and him both outstanding play callers, being able to bounce ideas off each other and see things that others may not be able to see in game and make things like that happen, right? So you can't get any, 7th rounder to come in there in any offense and be able to do that. But if you have an offense to where, man, we got to focus on Travis Kelce. Oh man, Patrick Mahomes might be able to do this. He gets us in trouble when he's out of the pocket, when he's on the move. We have so many other things to focus on. Oh wait, now we got Tony coming through here and he's running the ball. Like, you have so many other things to worry about. If we can have our offense be that dynamic, right? Is Dak going to be on the move and be able to scramble like a Patrick Mahomes? Is our tight end play going to garner the type of attention that Travis Kelce garners? How's our receiving room going to do? Because last year, outside of CeeDee Lamb,
Fair point.
we were
Those are
looking,
fair points.
right?
Those are fair points.
So, but if you can get all of that, then yeah, you could throw a 7th rounder in there and be like, all right, well, we just need you to have one good game. But when you're leaning on your running game for the entire season, you might need a Bijan guy or a Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott of the past to be able to carry that for the entire season.
Two elite Hall of Fame type players in Mahomes and Kelce. Yes,
Yeah.
that does make a difference. Yes.
I mean, that's a great articulation of just saying this ain't that. it's what you just basically did. This ain't that.
I'm not arguing with you. I ain't arguing with you. Like, you bring
man.
up a good point. Yes.
I mean, and look, man, y'all know it's positive heck over here. I'm saying I feel like I'm always pandering to the crowd of people that see the silver lining and everything for the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm preparing myself to be ticked off on Thursday.
Really?
I am, because so much of this season, last season, just looking at what Philadelphia did in the trade that they made. Philadelphia has the 10th pick in this draft. Let that sink in. The runner-up to the Super Bowl has the 10th pick from New Orleans. Now, how did all that come together? New Orleans traded a pick to them that ended up, they went 7-10 last season, ends up getting 10. And, oh, by the way, last year, Philadelphia takes those picks that they received from New Orleans and just offers them up for one A.J. Brown. How did that work out? You get a guy that comes in and improves your team immensely, immediately. These are the kinds of moves that I am begging for the Cowboys to make.
Heck, a lot of Cowboy fans, and we were doing the show after they took Tyler Smith, weren't happy. And I remember with a big knock on Tyler, people said, "Hey, the guy was in the American Athletic Conference, and he was nobody held more people in college football than Tyler Smith." I mean, it was not a lot of positives going on. People saying they reached, but not. And what did we see? He was one of the most valuable pieces that they had last year. Mike McCarthy consistently talks about position flex. Started at guard. Next thing you know, right before the season starts, Tyron Smith, hamstring problem, goes out the left tackle. Hadn't played a left tackle all the camp. Guy had a heck of a year. So are you going to be ticked off by what the Cowboys do, or are you going to be ticked off by what other people in the division who are going to be drafting ahead of you?
Because I see the division getting better. The Eagles are going to get a great player at 10. They can get a Jalen Carter. Come on, let's put that together. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say the same about Tyler Smith, the great unknown. He was one of those guys that they had boots on the ground. They figured out that he could have that position flex. We hadn't heard of a lot of players this season. Maybe the TCU guard that we talk about, a guy can play guard or maybe center. Other than that,
I go back to the time I was working in Cleveland, and the Browns had the 10th pick in the draft. They really wanted tight end Kyle Brady and Mike Mamula. Both guys went off the board. So they panicked. Mike Lombardi was running the draft room. They panicked. They traded all the way down with the 49ers. The 49ers took, at the 10th pick, and they were praised, J.J. Stokes, wide receiver out of UCLA, All-American wide receiver. This is the next Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
They got Jerry Rice
Stokes.
Jr. I mean,
Wow.
and so how did the Niners do it? We don't know. And there are more misses. I mean, you start looking at this stuff. You go back, man, the bust rate's going to be 50% plus. And so while, yes, Philadelphia's sitting here at 10, you know what? They could mess it up. This is still the same dude who took Jalen Reagor.
It is.
But he made up for that.
And passed on Justin.
He made it.
Got Slim Reaper.
Yeah.
And then he got A.J. Brown.
He didn't stay with that long.
So let's,
So we'll see. That's the thing. We'll see. I mean, for us to just automatic, hey, man, he's going to hit. Maybe he doesn't hit.
You talking about who?
Howie Roseman.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Bijan Robinson.
No.
Do y'all remember when Trent Williams was the guy? I mean,
Yes.
Trent Richardson?
Trent Richardson, yes.
Yeah, you remember that?
Number 3,
Okay,
Cleveland.
Good. I remember
mean,
that.
he tore it up in that national championship game against Alabama. You know what, man? This is why I'm glad they don't let you buy stock in players, because I'd have bought a bunch Dude, I'd have had a lot of Trent Richardson, Carson Palmer, and RG3 stock.
You know what I saw? I saw a Sports Illustrated ad about the Tony Mandridge draft. Do you remember that, right?
Yes.
Aikman in that draft, and Aikman, Dion, and I believe Barry Sanders,
Junior Seau.
Oh man, and Tony Mandridge. You talk about bust central. So I know it's a reach. I know teams obviously are desperate enough, and that's why I look at the top 10 of this draft, because I know so many teams are desperate for a quarterback. It's amazing to me, like the quarterback from Ohio State, the way that people say, well, Houston may not take him. You may fall all the way out. I'm like, dude, there are teams that are talking about considering seriously getting the quarterback from Kentucky. So
we're being lied to consistently right now, though.
Absolutely. Look.
If you're not lying,
absolutely.
If you're not lying, if you're a team and you're not lying to me, you're doing it all wrong. I lie all day long.
But you've seen teams reach at those top 10. So I'm actually agreeing with what you're saying and saying that Philly could do that, but we know that they don't need a quarterback.
I mean, this draft thing is crazy. Yes, they don't need a quarterback because they just pay Jalen Hurts. But I mean, now this is the same league that, not only did they draft Mitchell Trubisky ahead of Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, we saw a team trade up to do it.
Well, that's Chicago.
Hey, you're right, but foolishness will occur. And Cleveland, the same team that had 2 first round, had the first and the 10th pick, took Myles Garrett, smart pick, and then traded away the 10 to Houston, who takes Deshaun Watson. And then what do they do years later? Here, Deshaun, here's $230 million guaranteed. Yeah. Mistakes will be made. If you're a Cowboy fan, I think you should feel really good, because they've done a really nice job of drafting guys in the first round. Let's take a break here. We started a little late here right here on the players. Let's take a break. I won't give a name. Let's not give a name. Let's just give a position. Okay, Thursday night, what position do you want? And go anywhere you want. Danny McCray, Heckman Harrison, I'm New East Coast Players. Now it's brought to you by Tostitos right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King. Rule the day.
Attention Cowboys fans looking for the best shave of your life. There's a new official razor of the Dallas Cowboys, Shave Logic. Imagine not having to buy blades as often and getting more smooth shaves than your old razor, guaranteed or your money back. After more than 10 years of research and over 150 company patents, Shave Logic is proud to offer Cowboys fans a special offer. For a limited time, visit shavelogic.com and get a free $10 gift card with your purchase. Go to shavelogic.com now for more smooth shaves guaranteed.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Come out to the Star in Frisco for the Dallas Cowboys draft weekend presented by Miller Lite. The party starts on Thursday, April 27th at 6:30. Enjoy draft coverage, players appearances, live performances, and more. On Friday, come back for a draft night out with live music and games. Then finish strong on Saturday with the Draft Day 5K presented by Baylor Scott and White Health. For more details, visit dallascowboys.com/draft.
Heckma Harrison, thank you very much. Heckma Harrison is here. Danny McCray is here. I'm Newey Scruggs. Brother Barry Church is, chilling.
Viva!
Yeah, I guess is he gonna watch the draft in Mexico too?
I don't know.
Have a Mexican draft party out there, I mean,
Probably is.
Yeah, is he all week?
Did he take his clubs though?
He did. I saw him and the wife. They was on the ground. They were both swinging the clubs, man.
Okay.
So he's that dedicated. He puts his clubs.
Yeah. He's gonna take them clubs.
What's that cost? Like bag is $25.
Do you think? We're talking about Barry Church.
I'm just asking. I mean,
You think
one day one day I'll buy some clubs and just see. Because my buddy Roland Martin does the same thing. Wherever he goes, man, I ship my clubs out there. It's like. Just die hard right there.
Let me quit. I don't know if he ship his own clubs out there. I don't know if he'll come back.
No.
You already said he pull up to the tarmac.
Hey, I don't know. He don't shop at Walmart. Do you only Target? I don't know.
Okay.
Point taken.
Cowboys at 26 right now. This is where they're expected to draft. Last time they drafted at 26, they took Anthony Spencer, linebacker out of Purdue, and ended up making a Pro Bowl in his career. So, position. Not necessarily a name. I don't really need a name, but position at 26. Heckma Harrison, want to see the Cowboys take Thursday night?
I'm torn. My man started with offensive line, and that's what's had me thinking about offensive line more and more. And when I think about our defense and how stacked they are, I start calling out all the names, and I go, damn, do we really need any more defensive linemen according to what we have over there? I mean, because we should be looking at this defensive line and saying, man, that's a very crowded room. Linebacker is the position that I think I'm more interested in because of guys not working out. But it's all for me. Seriously, guys, it's on the other side of the ball. It's offense. Danny McCray, you've won this argument with me. I believe that offensive line is the where they need to go. And if you can't get him in the first, try and get him in the second. But definitely offensive line.
Off the top of your head, Newey, can you tell me how we built that feared offensive line back from Tyron? It was started with Tyron Smith, right? And then we ended up getting Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, right?
Yes.
you got to start by drafting these guys, right? That's how we got there. So we got Tyler Smith last year. First piece. I don't want him to be one of the best swing tackles or whatever, versatile, being able to play guard and tackle. I want him to be able to play whatever position he plays the best, right? And then draft another guy opposite of that, right? So now you got him, you got Terrence Steele. Where are you weak at right now? Interior offensive line. Figure out a way to get that sold up. That way we can play to our defense, right? We do need an interior defensive lineman. But that's not the reason why we lost to San Francisco. We lost to San Francisco because Dak was under pressure, forced him to make some bad decisions, and we were not able to run the ball after Tony Pollard got out of the game. This all leans on, to me, play calling and your confidence in your offensive line. So I'm always going to keep going back to 2014, 2016. Recipe for success across the league. Can you run the ball? What does your offensive line look like? And then you can say, all right, we have a recipe for being successful. Do you remember the Super Bowl with Kansas City and Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
The offense
tackles
done.
out of the game.
Yeah.
You may as well chalk that up as a just easy win for Tampa Bay. The offensive line is the most important thing on your squad, especially when you already have a defense that's set up like ours.
That also happened to Carolina, Cam Newton, same thing in that Super Bowl. That they didn't have any tackles that game, and definitely that hurts you. I am still going to look to the defensive line, and be it defensive tackle or even defensive end. At some point in time, the Cowboys need to plan for DeMarcus Lawrence from the standpoint of you may need to start limiting his reps because he is getting older. He had an outstanding year last year. But at some point in time, he's getting older. Where else do you have, and if you're going to be putting Micah Parsons in there, who else is there right now when you talk about defensive ends?
Sam Williams, Dorrance Armstrong, Chauncey Golston.
I want an elite guy, though.
Okay. I mean,
this is a good play. I want a blue. I want a blue chip. I'm talking,
okay.
To me, I'm looking at my first rounder. I want a blue chip, and that, I mean, we see what blue chip is when you bring in a Micah Parsons. If you're able to bring in the level of what you did with the Zach Martin, and when you took a Tyler Smith, obviously those guys were drafted in the first round high. Tyler was a top 10 guy, and then we saw it was a 16, I want to say, for Martin, but a blue chip guy. Micah Parsons into a blue chip guy. But to me, I still think about this defensive line here. I want to give Dan Quinn as many tools as possible. And yes, maybe Sam Williams does come around here. Dorrance Armstrong, he had a heck of a year, definitely better than Randy Gregory. But I'm still just, man, I'm like the 49ers. Man, throw some more bodies there. Throw them at there until I can just wear you down. Because I just look at the 49ers, and granted, quarterback play did them in. But, man, I love watching their defensive line. And when Jimmy Johnson was winning here, when the Cowboys won their Tom Landry, they just had a lot of defensive linemen.
I want to push on the offensive line one more time. Okay, just one more time.
Okay.
Just one more time as we go. Is Terrence still entering the last year of his contract?
Yeah.
What about Tyron Smith? What do we do with him after this year?
Look, if you end up with Steve Avila of TCU, I would not have an issue with it at all because of the position flex to play center and guard. I won't argue with you there. For me, and this is also, I read Jimmy Johnson's book, Swagger. And Jimmy laid out a lot of the way he felt about drafting. Jimmy's like, you can get guys, especially interior guys. You can get them in the later rounds because they're not thought of as those sexy guys that you want in the first. So, yes, you can get some of the better players. I mean, you look at Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce was not a first or second rounder. Nate Newton, undrafted free agent. Eric Williams, who had a Hall of Fame career going until he got hurt, and possibly, in my opinion, still has the resume to be a third-round pick. Larry Allen, second-round pick. So some of these guys, you can get them. I'm not saying at all, do not address it. I mean, 100% behind you. You must address it. I'm just talking about it at 26. And I just feel like I'll gamble that I can get some offensive linemen in round 2 and 3, but trying to get an impact player on my D-line, I feel like you got to get that.
I know, man. Shout out to Philly for doing it last year. Very late.
The sense
of the season,
yeah, the sense of urgency comes when you look at the depth chart and you see Chuma Edoga at left guard for the Cowboys. I mean, we know that that's going to change if with Steele being healthy, he's going to go back to right. They're going to move Tyron back over to left tackle, Tyler back down to left guard. But still, the depth there, you have to worry about that. last year we played with a 40-year-old offensive lineman. I don't think anybody wants to revisit that again. So that's to me, that's when I looked at the depth there, that it automatically went to, all right, we've got to get an offensive lineman so that we don't play around with this position just in case, because I don't know, fan night last year when I got tore his hamstring off the bone, that just led to so much trouble throughout the season not having a healthy Tyron Smith.
And you got a new O-line coach. So give him some guys.
So this is thank you for now. I have my question. I've got my question for Will McClay and Mike McCarthy. Give me a status update and a comfortability level of Josh Ball and Matt Waletzko. You used a fourth rounder on Ball, and you used a draft pick on Waletzko. Tell me what about these guys? And Waletzko last year was hurt. They had liked what they saw early in camp, but couldn't keep the shoulder straight, so he ended up basically having a redshirt year last year. Josh Ball got hurt basically his first year last year. With his first year, they put him in a game, and he was tragic, almost lost the game. So tell me, what are you seeing out of those guys? Because we saw what happened with Terrence Steele. They did develop him. So give me a sense of where those two guys are, because they put draft capital in them, and so that could be an underlying theme of where they may have some comfortability in these two tackles that maybe we're panicking, and they could say we see something behind the scenes that you guys don't.
Brother Nua, you saw Josh Ball. You already answered that question. Don't do that. I appreciate that, but don't do that. Come on now.
Hey, I mean,
I get it.
I'm on the positive heck train.
No, I feel you.
It can happen.
It can happen, but not now.
Play a little R. Kelly for him in the back. I believe I can fly.
I'm gonna cross over to positivity with you. I'm gonna say this, okay? Because my guy, my high school teammate, is now the assistant offensive line coach.
Okay.
All right. So maybe they just needed a change of voice here, right? Really? They got a new offensive line coach, new assistant offensive line coach. They are getting, maybe they believe in Ball and Waletzko, and they said, hey man, we just needed some guys who can really get the most out of them. Kind of like when you brought in Dan Quinn. He said, we have talent on the defense. We just need to get a guy who can come in here and have So maybe that's what I don't maybe that's what it is.
I go back into when Parcells was here. Parcells had a great line, and Chris Beam, you remember Parcells said, by year 3 we got to see something. We got to see something. So, Ball is going to be entering year 3. Waletzko's been entering year 2. Jalen Tolbert is getting ready to enter year 2. By year 3, we got to see something. And basically, Parcells like, we ain't seeing something by year 3, then you about to get up out of here. And he said he learned that from Tom Landry. So, yes, what we saw from Josh Ball, and it was brother, it was not good. Yeah. But we saw some stuff from Terrence Steele in his first year. Every time, man, he ain't look good. But they spoke about how he remade himself, and so that's what that's why I'm going to ask the question, because I'd like to know. And the one thing I did learn from Jason Garrett when he interviewed is what Jason didn't say told me a lot about guys. So if I ask about Waletzko and Ball and I'm not hearing anything, hey, lost weight, doing that, then I'm going to say, all right. So
I'm more excited about Matt Forniak, and only because it's the great unknown. I don't know anything about him. I haven't gotten an opportunity to see him get any significant work because of I think he had the shoulder subluxation throughout the season, so he had to go through that surgery. But again, left guard is still a worrisome position. We understand that we have some position flex with Josh Ball at tackle. I don't want to see him in the game, basically, unless when you ask that question, they can give you definitively and say, no, this guy's been working his tail off all offseason. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten better. I think you're going to see a new guy. And then you're going to have to prove it to me to have me believe that, because based off of what I've seen so far, he's just not giving me any vibes that says that this is a player that we can get behind and believe in his ability.
Left guard doesn't bother me as much right now as I'm thinking about right tackle.
Because of the knee injury to Terrence Steele?
What about left tackle? You just said the man was at fan day.
Yeah, he did.
So you holding – I'm just – no. You literally are going to be holding your breath every snap. Every training camp snap, every preseason snap, and every snap into the season, you're going to be sitting there like how many eyes – you're going to be like, man, I don't know. Who's next? The whole entire time. Like how, as a coach, as somebody who's trying to game plan and get guys ready.
I feel as though they're going to have someone they can play. If you're talking backup, okay?
Yeah.
You got to put Tyler Smith at left tackle. I just feel like they'll have somebody there ready to go. And you got Biotis, your center, coming off a Pro Bowl season. You got Smith out there who had a really good rookie year, actually the second. I think whoever they put there will be able to be okay.
I agree.
Right tackle for me, if Steele's not ready to go, I'm worried who's there. Because they've said they're not putting Tyler Smith on the right side. They're going to leave the left side player. So for me, just when I think of, okay, if there has to be a backup going, I'm more concerned about the right tackle backup.
So you wouldn't say Tyron back to right?
I don't think he plays that well at right. I think, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this. I think Tyron will be healthy this season.
What?
For the majority of the season, I think he'll be healthy. He'll be playing left tackle. Right tackle, I'm actually not that worried about it. I think that Steele's gonna come back from this ACL and he's gonna be fine. Of course, backup is you have an issue there, but then you start talking about Josh Ball and these other guys.
Well, let's go. So these are great. These are great questions, and obviously it's work they've got to go do here. But I'm looking for it to get done on Thursday or Friday. I'm looking for that to get taken care of, and I'm looking for that to be taken care of a lot more than these tight end projections I keep seeing for the Cowboys here. So this is the beauty. This is the beauty of what we have going on here. Let's hit a break here, and we'll get ready to wrap up the show. Danny McCray, Heckman Harris, I'm New East Coast Players Lounge, brought to you by Tostitos on DallasCowboys.com radio.
You heard that. I said Tyrus.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Country music is rocking the Star in Frisco with a free multi-day fan festival ahead of the big show. Come celebrate country music party of the year at the ACM Country Kickoff, May 9th and 10th. The fun starts each day at 3 p.m. with live performances from the newest country music stars, pop-up shops, exclusive artist merch, a beer garden, food trucks, and more. Visit acmcountrykickoff.com for more information.
There you go. Luke Bryan, Luke Combs, all the Lukes.
Shout out to Luke.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Tony Romo. He won the celebrity over the Invited Classic. So they had the celebrity participants with the other PGA guys. So Romo ended up winning that thing, man. So
great athlete.
Congratulations to Tony, man, getting it done. Backyard kids get to see you play. So I give him credit, man. My man wearing them Skechers, boy. Sketch is paying good. I'm like, I'd never seen any golf sketches. Tony has golf sketches. Boy, look at it, boy. Good on you, man. To make money and you don't play anymore, man, that's pretty dang good right there, man. Yeah. You still got endorsement deals and you don't play anymore, man. So
make
good.
A lot of money.
Yeah. Good on you, Tony. Good on you, Tony Romo. So congratulations to him. Draft Thursday night, first round. Cowboys at 26. Before we go, do you think they trade out?
I hope so.
I don't.
Stay at 26.
I think they stay.
Take a play. Stay right there. When you go back, you're passing on good players.
Unless Bijan Robinson miraculously falls to you at 26, just something like that. You'd have to have a guy that there's no questions about his ability. You know that if we get this guy, he's going to produce for us. Everybody else, I think there's a lot of question marks.
But that's never
around.
The case, though. You never really know.
No. Absolutely. I said, hey, either you find a toe ring or you find a diamond. All right, I'm trying to find a diamond. Okay, and I think that Bijan Robinson. When I look at this draft, I think, guys, I just believe that he's the only sure thing. For me, as a draft pick, I think there are more questions around other guys. When I look at the Alabama linebacker, I think he's a guy that's been making tackles without a lot of people touching on him. He's running free to the ball. How is that going to impact him when he gets to the league? Those quarterbacks, there's just a lot of questions around height and everything else. I just feel confident about Bijan Robinson.
What's the running back out of Alabama?
Gibbs.
Yeah. I like Gibbs.
5'9", 210.
I like him.
Okay,
I like him as a player. You slip up and get him. If Bijan Robinson falls to 26, then you assume that the second round is going to be Gibbs.
Let me just go with these last couple first round picks here before we get it. 2022 last year, Tyler Smith.
Plus.
We good? Okay. 2021, Micah Parsons.
Plus.
Rookie of the year. 2020, CeeDee Lamb.
Plus.
Pro Bowler. 2019, no pick because they traded it to Oakland for Amari Cooper. 2018, Leighton Vander Esch.
Plus.
Made a Pro Bowl. 2017, Taco Charlton. 2016, Ezekiel Elliott.
Plus.
Made several Pro Bowls. 2015, Byron Jones.
Plus.
Made several Pro Bowls. Made one Pro Bowl. Zach Martin, 2014.
Do you need a plus?
On the way to the Hall of Fame. Travis Frederick, 2013, Pro Bowl player. 2012, Mo Claiborne.
Go Tigers.
Chris Beam with the quick hands.
Chris Beam, a legend.
Quick hands.
That was good right there. 2011, Tyron Smith. 2010, Des Bryant. They have been crushing it for a decade.
Do you hear that?
I did.
Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin.
Yeah.
Des Bryant, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb.
You're really talking one miss here. One.
You got D-Law in the second round.
Mm-hmm. But that's one. That was Zach Martin and D-Law.
And the one that we didn't have a first-round draft pick, I think the second pick was Tristan Hill. Yeah.
But Tony Pollard went for it. Pollard went for it, so he got a Pro Bowl there. So I say that I'll stay at 26 and trust Will McClay to go find me a guy.
Mm-hmm. No, I do, man, it's not about not trusting Will McClay. I'm just looking at the talent that's in the draft. I don't see any of those players that you just mentioned in this said draft. I mean, if we could do a comparison analysis between the guys that you just mentioned and the guys that are in this draft, that's all I'm saying.
I didn't know who Tyler Smith was. And he's from here. I didn't know, but they knew. And that's what I'm counting on, is them knowing. All right, let's wrap up. We got to let Mickey get in here for Mick Shots. Dallas Cowboys press conference, top of the hour. I should not top of the hour, but at noon, high noon. Mickey Spagnola and Mick Shots, that's top of the hour. But a whole lot of content right here on DallasCowboys.com radio. Thanks to Chris Beam, Jazz, Will, everybody who makes it happen right here on DallasCowboys.com radio. This has been the Players Lounge.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!